Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. We've got a Thanksgiving game and Black Friday game preview to talk about here on the Audible. We're going to have, of course, the rest of the games in a different show. But Sigmund, this is a yearly tradition that we like to do to get these now 4 games out to people.
Yeah, it was 2 a while back when we were kids. Uh, and it's just always a moment, gratitude, appreciation. It's a vitamin for us. And the more you can do that, taking a day out to stop and be grateful, to be thankful is why just one day on the calendar and football being part of that. I think that it's a nice thing that we associate that. It's on in the background, hopefully in the background, and our people that we love are in the foreground, and always all of you that we love. But yeah, it's nitty gritty time in fantasy football leagues, and all the teams are in action this week. So we've got some difficult decisions.
Yes, difficult decisions. And Chicago, Detroit is the first game up. Chicago can put up a fight with multiple weapons. The problem is they have multiple weapons. So when
Yeah.
choosing between Roma Dunze and Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, and then Cole Kmet, and then the backfield with Swift and Johnson, Caleb Williams leading the way, it's like, all right, I like their weapons. It's Detroit. You'd think either you fall behind and you have to play catch up football, good for fantasy football, or you have to go toe to toe with Detroit. I don't believe this would be a low scoring affair on the Lions side of
Right.
things, Sigmund. How does that affect what Chicago does? How does it affect what fantasy GMs decide?
Right. Last week we said that the Colts held the Lions to 24 points. The good
Mm.
news is with Shane Waldron gone, this offense can be souped up enough to keep up with the Lions defense, which is doing well, by the way. You look at some stats for the Lions, like third down percentage and a few other efficiency stats. Their defense is actually really coming along. But you have Caleb Williams. Certainly the game script's going to be there for him to have a big game here. You have to play DJ Moore. They're getting touches by design. He got a touchdown last week. Keenan Allen really came to life last week. And you would expect, and this is what we thought at the beginning of the year, give Caleb Williams layups, 5-7 yards, putting the offense in good down and distances or third down conversions to help grease the skids, get this offense going. They're going to need it. And then Roma Dunze is more of a boom bust. What the heck flex? Hey, it was a floor game for him last week with 5 catches for 39 yards. Cole Kmet also a favorite target, especially in that 2-minute drill mode for Caleb Williams. So he's in consideration. Honestly, it's DeAndre Swift who we're wondering about because number one, Roschon Johnson's getting the rushing touchdowns at the goal line. Number
Mhm.
two, the Lions' run defense is stifling. Okay, that you're not going to run on the Lions. So yes, DeAndre Swift has the potential in the passing game. He was on the other end of that. Unbelievable. Again, if you haven't seen it, the Caleb Williams pass, running towards the sideline and just flicking it 40 yards downfield, almost like a no-look 40-yard pass. So DeAndre Swift could come through with a long touchdown run or maybe some involvement in the passing game. But it's a luxury if you're thinking about benching DeAndre Swift this week, but you might if your running backs are stacked.
Yes, stacked running backs. And that pass from Caleb Williams, Sigmund,
Yeah,
it looked like bad CGI, where you're like,
right. A
wait a second,
glitch.
that can't happen. That
Right,
can't happen. It's just you flick it and it's there? Huh?
right. As you're running out of bounds.
It's amazing. The Lions are amazing. Amon-Ra St. Brown with a knee thing. What is this? What? 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 Now, full disclosure, we're recording this on Tuesday morning, on a
Right,
Tuesday. So we'll see. But Monday, Amon-Ra St. Brown walkthrough. Okay, just to
right,
give all the information. It's a walkthrough. Listed as non-participant due to a knee issue. Also, Dave Montgomery getting a DNP because of his shoulder. Again, walkthrough type stuff. But still, when you're thinking about, man, I want to start all my lines, and then you start the week like that, it's a bit of a concern. Again, we're recording on Tuesday.
right.
We'll figure it out. But this is a thing to be mindful of.
Yeah, monitor this. It's the first game in the morning. And by the way, let's take a moment out to say the Lions on Thanksgiving, this is the marquee game. This is the marquee team. See, how many years do we say, well, yeah, the Lions are going to play somebody. Maybe it's an interesting team like the Steelers and there'll be some coin flip controversy or something. Maybe the Lions are playing somebody that's not any good. Whatever. The Cowboys game will be more interesting. And then eventually they added a third game. This is the marquee game. This is the marquee team. We have arrived, and they want to keep that number one seed. So, Cease, I do think you're going to see close calls if it's Montgomery, who says he's going to play. We'll see. I mean, if he's on the field, he's in your lineup. Jahmyr Gibbs might be the number one running back of the week if Montgomery's not going to play. Amon-Ra St. Brown in your lineup, even if he's just a game time decision. Jamison Williams in your lineup, just because he can make it happen on one play. Maybe Tim Patrick in your lineup with Khalif Raymond banged up. Sam Laporta got 6 targets last week, including one inside the 10. So it's possible. You might even play a Cole Kmet over him. Kmet might have a higher floor than Laporta, but just like Jalen Waddle last week, eventually we're going to get a 3-touchdown game from Laporta one of these games. And Jared Goff, obviously a solid play. And why this game is important is Detroit just needs to keep holding serve so that the road to the Super Bowl goes through Detroit. The Eagles are coming on. The Eagles say, hey, we're a contender too. They're playing better and better as the year goes on. And if the road to the Super Bowl goes through Philadelphia, if we project Philadelphia, Detroit in January, in Detroit indoors or outdoors in Philadelphia, it's a very different game. So these games matter for the Lions.
A very different outcome there, to be sure. The game that you'll have on and be not paying attention to is the Giants and the Cowboys. Tommy DeVito's still going to be the starter. Okay, let's start from there and let's build on it. And what did I see someone say? Like, the Titans let Derrick Henry go and the Giants let Saquon Barkley go, and they had a record comparison. Either way, let's get
Yeah.
the Giants football out of the way. Actually, let's just get this game out of the way.
Right.
We'll talk
Right.
Cowboys in a little bit, but let's focus on the Giants with Tommy DeVito, Malik Neighbors' comments, chomping on a gum after the game, and it's just all a disaster.
Right. You're right, Cease. You don't watch this game for the same reason, like when you were a kid and maybe you'd never seen somebody who, was in a wheelchair with a leg amputated and you're saying, don't stare, don't stare. Don't gawk at how bad this game is going to be. Don't gawk. Find something else to do. Spend time with your family. Take a walk, like the Europeans do. Take a walk after a big meal. It's good. Get the blood flowing. It's good for you. But Tommy DeVito, if he's healthy enough, will play. The interesting thing to watch here, well, 2 interesting things for fantasy. One is, will Malik Neighbors get the squeaky wheel treatment after he's saying to ask them, I don't know why I'm not getting targets. I just show up wherever the quarterback is. I'm going to play the same. Does he get a lot of targets? And then Tyrone Tracy with a fumble last week in the red zone. The game was already out of hand, but he had fumbled away a game in overtime, the Germany game with the Panthers. So after that, we saw Devin Singletary get the rushing touchdown. We saw not a lot of action for Tyrone Tracy. Now, is this going to be a situation where it was temporary, the long view, even though Brian Dable's not going to be the coach next year? Because that's the other big picture thing here, is the team is quitting on Brian Dable. Are you going to do that on national TV when everyone's watching? That is going to be interesting to watch. Dallas defense is a play this week. Wan'Dale Robinson maybe as a play this week in PPR leagues for those short catches in deeper leagues. But yeah, this game, not exactly how the NFL drew it up when they put this one on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's talk Cowboys football. And what's this? Mike McCarthy could receive an extension.
They're playing hard for him.
Jerry Jones says, I don't think that's crazy at all. Of course, Jerry Jones says that. Now, Brandon Cooks might actually be out there. Now,
Yeah.
maybe. Again, has been sidelined since September 26th.
Right.
Sorry, Joe. It's Thanksgiving. After suffering a knee injury in week 4 against the Giants. So to come back against the Giants now at the end of November, okay, just put a pin in that. CeeDee Lamb limited back foot, Cooper Rush limited with the knee. Hey, okay, Cowboys football, everybody.
Yeah, it's time for the Cowboys to win enough games to be picking in like the 15 range. I don't know, maybe a Micah Parsons type player can fall to that range again, but yeah, Cowboys, a lot here to unpack. CeeDee Lamb is in your lineup. That Cooper Rush can give him enough short targets. PPR leagues, you're going to get some points there. Looks like it'll be Luke Schoonmaker again, who's had 2 solid fantasy games. So if you need to dig down deep for a tight end, the second-round pick from a couple of years back, staying healthy now with Jake Ferguson battling that concussion. Rico Dowdle is a live play. He's back to being the lead back, kind of like Tyrone Tracy. He dropped some passes 2 weeks ago. Didn't see a lot of him in the second half. Last week, back to being the clear lead back, playing pretty well, and in a game where the game script should absolutely suit him in this one. And we'll see. Mike McCarthy, again, they're playing hard for him. It seems to be relax. Maybe all the pressure is off now because we know this Cowboys team isn't going anywhere, except again that 12 to 18 range of the draft.
Yeah, let's talk Miami Dolphins, Green Bay Packers up next. And I hope you didn't miss out on the feast that was Jalen Waddle this last week. By the way, Shaq Barrett's applying for reinstatement. So Shaq Barrett may want to come back to the Dolphins. That's interesting conversation. But for fantasy purposes on Thanksgiving, can Jalen Waddle do it again? Can Jonnu Smith do it again? Like, I have more faith that Jonnu
Yes,
will than Jalen will, but still, Tyreek,
right.
Mostert, Achan, all the names, Tunga Vailoa, uh, that we're used to on Thursday night.
And trying to keep the season alive, Miami is. And we'll see. Tua is 0-7 in games under 40 degrees. So you would expect it's Miami. Of course, they're going to struggle in cold weather. You got to keep playing Waddle. You've got to keep playing Hill, but you won't be surprised if they're disappointing. Tua Tagovailoa not as much of an automatic play here, really on the fringe of quarterback ones, if he's even in the quarterback one ranks. A lot of Devin Achan in this one, maybe even a lot of Jalen Wright. I think that the recipe here might be for Miami to look to run the ball 40 times in this game and then maybe take some shot plays downfield. And then, like you mentioned, Jonnu Smith, he is a top 5 tight end since the week 6 bye and looking good. And this is not counterfeit production. It's long plays, it's short plays, it's plays in the middle of the field, it's plays with run after the catch. And he should be, like you said, he's the most reliable player in this passing game, especially in a game in the cold where Green Bay is quite comfortable.
Yeah, always comfortable. Now, Josh Jacobs getting some rest on Monday. Romeo Dobbs, the concussion, did not take part in practice. It wasn't a full practice game. These are walkthroughs leading up to Thanksgiving, the big turkey day. So, all right, Green Bay, multiple weapons. Josh Jacobs needs some rest.
Mm-hmm.
After he ran for 3 touchdowns and became the first 100-yard rusher against the 49ers in an NFL record 56 games. So, whew. There you go, Jacobs. Enjoy your rest. Enjoy starting your Packers on Thursday.
Yeah, you play Jacobs again. Maybe not 3 touchdowns on 26 carries in this one. And the Miami defense is starting to play better too. So this could be a defensive struggle. But more Emmanuel Wilson, more Chris Brooks, revenge game. Chris Brooks fitting in nicely as a passing down back. Jordan Love, low volume. Okay. Not necessarily a strong play here. And even with Romeo Dobbs likely out with the concussion, well, that makes you more encouraged to play Jaden Reed. Maybe Christian Watson, maybe Tucker Kraft, who got a touchdown last week. Also, I think was tackled with the one. But you wouldn't be surprised if, again, Love throws the ball 15, 18 times, and we see maybe 20 carries from Jacobs and 20 carries combined from Williams, or 20 touches from Williams and Brooks, because Dontavian Wicks is there as a Hail Mary. But Green Bay is winning games exactly the way they want to, and they're going to likely be a wild card team in the NFC. But you think about Green Bay going on the road to face an Arizona or Seattle or an Atlanta in the first round of the playoffs. This is a good Green Bay team. They just happen to be in a division with the best team in the NFL.
Final game we're going to talk about on today's Thanksgiving game and Black Friday game, of course.
Right.
It is the Raiders and it is the Chiefs. And on the Raiders side, hey, not a whole lot, although Aiden O'Connell's going to start, or at least is projected to start in this one. Okay, what else? Yeah. Kobe Myers, yay.
Yeah.
Brock
Yeah.
Bowers, yay.
Right.
Brock Bowers versus Travis Kelce, that's gonna be kind of a cool moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The past and the future, for sure. And with Aiden O'Connell out there slinging it, like, I guess just go for it. Play Dilligaff ball.
Yeah.
Does it look like I give a
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving?
Happy Thanksgiving for the Raiders. Well, I mean, not that happy. Antonio Pierce, that didn't work, but he's going to go ahead and he's kind of the interim coach at this point, the revolving door of quarterbacks. And by the way, we'll get to see how good Bryce Young was last week against Kansas City by how Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders offense looks in this one. So if the Raiders get shut down pretty easily by the Chiefs, just add that note as we go into the weekend and Bryce Young will face Tampa Bay and you're thinking about your Panthers. It could be Amir Abdul's backfield again. We'll watch the practice reports with White. And Madison, Dylan Lowby, not happening after he fumbled the kickoff return. More sincere McCormick, the Roadrunners. Cease. Yes, we got to get back to the nicknames, mentioning the nicknames every time we can. Is there a nickname for Brock Bowers? Do you need a nickname when your name is Brock Bowers? I don't think so. You don't need a nickname when your name is Jacoby Myers either. on the case. These guys are in your lineup because you're probably going to see a lot of short, safe passing. That's the one thing O'Connell does a little better than Gardner Minshew. He's safer with the ball. I don't know if that's going to help the Raiders hang around in this one.
I don't know if Isaiah Pacheco is going to be back yet, but in the meantime, just keep playing Kareem Hunt until we know more. Again,
Yeah.
Tuesday morning, we don't know if Pacheco is going to play, although it is a close to return situation for Isaiah Pacheco. So Kareem Hunt there. Noah Gray is what the heck flex tight end on Black Friday. Travis Kelsey, of course, you're starting Xavier Worthy more in the what the heck flex range. DeAndre Hopkins, if he gets a touchdown, then he'll pay off as a deep flex play. And well, hey, there you go, Bloom. There's your Chiefs. And of course, Pat Mahomes
Right.
doing his magic on a Black Friday.
Right. It's funny how the different iterations of the Chiefs' offense have gone because we saw with Patrick Mahomes not really being sure who his top target was going to be going into the season. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, right? Rosie Rice. And we've seen so many iterations. See, I'd love to see the animation. Someone out there should do this. The animation of who the target tree has been for Patrick Mahomes from week to week, and then animate it with like how many targets and the thickness or width of the target tree to different branches because it continues to change. And what it's going to leave us with maybe is no reliable play of anybody. DeAndre Hopkins got a short touchdown last week or he would have been a bust. Juju Smith-Schuster's barely playing at all, or at least barely getting any targets. Xavier Worthy, we get that almost touchdown every week, but with the wide target tree, the high ceiling games just aren't going to come. And then you have Travis Kelsey, who probably still stays in your lineup just because of target volume, but you have Noah Gray with those 2 touchdowns each of the last 2 games. So yeah, he is someone you have to consider as a trend here as Patrick Mahomes is looking for him. And of course, it all converges at Mahomes. And unlike earlier in the year, it's creating value for Mahomes in good matchups. This is a good matchup. Like you said, in the backfield, if it's Hunt and Pacheco, then Hunt becomes what the heck flex. And with Pacheco and the nature of that ankle injury, it's fibula injury, we probably want to wait to see how he looks before we play him. Of course, if Pacheco is out, Hunt is in, hopefully getting some short touchdowns.
Hopefully, y'all have a great Thanksgiving out there before we wrap, Bloom. It's always a yearly tradition.
Yeah.
And my family will sit at the table and hold hands and say what we're thankful for, which is really, really cool. We're holding virtual hands, Sigmund.
Yeah.
Give me your hands. I'm like Dave
Mm,
Chappelle, right? Give me your
mm,
hands.
mhm.
And we'll hold hands and say, I'm thankful for you, brother. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been doing this 19 years and it's fantastic. It's a joy to be able to do this. Thankful for Joe Bryant and the opportunity. Thankful for having some really good coworkers at footballguys.com. Thankful for my health as an
Yeah.
older man. I will tell you the days that you don't have some aches and pains or whatever, like that's a good thing. So, what's Marshawn say? This is my son. He says, focus on your mentals.
Yeah. Your chicken and your
So,
mentals.
yes. Worry about the chicken, worry about the mentals, and appreciate my health, appreciate my family, of course, and everything that they do to support me as I go through this journey that we call life. Bloom, what are
Yeah.
you thankful for?
Yeah. Did you see our president, Marshawn Lynch? Did you see him? He was on a show and they asked him about building your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And he, and then they said, "What did you say?" And he said, "Well, that just when it comes off the top of the dome, you got to rewind. I don't, freestyling. That's what we're doing here on the Audible. I'm happy to have a place to freestyle with
Mm-hmm.
my dear, dear friend Cecil Lammey. I'm really thankful for all of you out there that allow us to do this as our bargain to exist in America and provide something of value. Because really, we get filled back up by this. My needs, some of my psychological, emotional, spiritual needs are met by doing this. And it also leaves a lot left over for my family and the other people in my life. So on behalf of those people, thank you because there's more of me because y'all allow us to do this. And I guess as we get older, Cece, you said health, and I'm thankful for the wisdom that comes with being around for a while. You know, I feel like I'm not as surprised, even though that's sometimes depressing. I'm not as surprised by things now. I feel like I'm understanding myself more every day. I'm understanding this place, this plane we're on more every day, and how to fit in, how to express myself in it. And none of this happens without everybody and all the support and love. And I feel the love out there, folks. Thank you. So I'm mostly happy to have love and participate in this flow of love. It's pretty neat, even though sometimes there's sadness, there's suffering, there's injustice, senseless things down on this plane. There's also a lot of beauty and a lot of love every day. And I thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to try to add my little bit to the pile.
Mm-hmm. Be safe, be kind, know that you are appreciated. He's Sigmund Bloom. I'm Cecil Lammey. Do all the YouTube things. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and would you please stay frosty?